Hey guys, my name is Saloon and today I bring you a list of great quality items that can be used as a transmog for each armor type. I'll also include an honorable mention at the end that is really expensive because it cannot be obtained anymore. In case you didn't know, you can collect any quality item for transmog nowadays. If you are not up to date with the changes made to transmog in recent years, click the video in the top right corner to get you up to speed. Without further ado, let's get started. Cloth. We will start with cloth, and the first item on this list for cloth is a chest called Crumbling Ceremonial Vestments. This is a very unique chest as there is no other in the game that is just a standalone chest piece. All the other color variants are tied to ropes. To farm this, the most recommended way was to open treasure chests in Suramar, as that has yielded the quickest success on getting this item. So good luck on farming! Burglar's Vest. This is a very special cloth chest, as it is a reference to the Hobbit movie, and once again there is no other cloth chest out there that looks like this, only Mayo. This is a 100% drop rate from a treasure called Orgron Plunder. You can find it in Spires of Arak, which is in Warlords of Draenor. Next we have a cloth hood called Twill Cover. This hood doesn't look very special, but this grey item is the only way to learn this appearance for cloth, as the hood exists as a green item for leather only. The easiest way to get this is by going to the Zara lore and buy a plain hat box from an NPC called Habdash for 20 gold. You'll find 2 of these in the box. You can learn one and sell or give away the other. Don't worry, Habdash is friendly towards Alliance characters as well. Next up, we have not only an item, but an entire cloth set. It's called Cross-Stitched Vestments and the whole set consists of grey items. There is no direct way to get the items, however. According to Wowhead, your best bet is to farm the dungeon gnome Ragan a couple times, or you can always check the auction house, so good luck farming this one, you might need it. Last item for cloth is the Calico Tunic. It looks unique on female characters, on males it looks pretty normal. This item drops from various different low-level areas, such as Deadmines, Ragefire Chasm, or the Northern Barrens. If you can't be bothered to farm this grey quality item, you can guarantee yourself the appearance by doing an Alliance-only quest called A Favorite Treat as a cloth user. This quest can be found on the Blood Mist Isle and it starts from an NPC called Aeonar. If you're a hardcore Horde fan, and don't want to besmirch your account with an Alliance character, then the Calico Tunic is your best bet. And that is it for cloth. Now we move on to leather. First leather item I'm showing you is the sagging shoulder pads of the Merciless. Now this look isn't unique to this grey item, but it's unique in a way that it can drop from the Legion version of Karazhan from the chest trash alongside other grey items that are also grey versions of Burning Crusade Karazhan raid drops. You can potentially farm the grey version of the item multiple times a day on Heroic dungeon difficulty in Legion Karazhan, while the epic's only in Burning Crusade Karazhan version once a week as it's a raid. In the old version it can drop from the Curator or Echo of Medivh, aka Chessavan. Next up we have leather boots called Hecate's Folly. This item has a unique flavor text that says, "You'd think a warlock would have known that he couldn't wear these," which could be a reference to the fact that in the alpha version of WoW, warlocks were supposed to wear leather, but it was changed to balance out armor types. This item has a pretty low drop rate, and it can only drop from mobs or treasures in Legion zones. The appearance is not tied to this item only, there are other great quality boots who share this, and the highest drop rate I could find was the overstretched leather boots, which has a 33% drop chance from a mob called Taskmaster Banegor, who can be found in Spires of Arak at this location. Warp leather pants. These are a blue recolor version of the bandit pants. There is a green item called cleft hoof breeches, which looks almost the same as this, except at the kneecap it flares out, while on the grey item it stays straight, which makes it unique. The drop rate for this item is pretty low. It drops from low-level zones or dungeons such as Dead Mines and Ragefire Chasm. Next we have a leather chest called Overstretched Leather Armor, and it may sound familiar because it belongs to the same set as Hecate's Folly. This appearance is tied to another grey leather chest, so I picked the one with the better drop rate for this list, with 29% from Sargerai Ravener in Talador or Gorian Enforcer in the High Maul raid. Last item for leather is called Commemorative Jedin Belt. This belt might not look special, but it's unique because this is the only leather version of this belt. Before Blizzard made grey items transmogable, this belt could be only obtained by male users. Luckily, this belt is very easy to get. Go to Erdath, a zone on Argus, and talk to Kuram, who sells you this belt for 5 gold. Now we'll continue with Mayo. First item on the Mayo list is the Soggy Moarg eye patch. This eye patch is unique because this is the only Mayo version of this item. It has a pretty low drop rate from around the mobs in the zones of Argus. You will definitely need some luck or opening your in-game wallet, as it can be bought from the auction house. Next up we have Rust Encrusted Coif. It's a Mayo silver crown. It shares a model with other grey items, but I found this one has a decentish drop rate from Legion zones, but mainly High Mountain. Highest percent that is available for both factions seems to be 21% from a mob called Sagebrew Orgrew, who you can find in High Mountain. The next item on our list is not just one item, but again an entire set. This goes by many names. Some call it the Shoddy Chain set. Some will recognize it as the Scarlet Crusade Mayo set. Some will see it as the Unyielding Mayo Red Recolor set, as it's available in other color variants. We are going to focus on the Shoddy Chain set, which is mostly grey items. You can farm all the pieces for this set in the Blood Elf starting zone Eversong Woods. They are random drops from various different mobs. On this note, I want to talk about the Scarlet Crusade Mayo set, as it has quite a history. The set looks actually a little bit different from the Shoddy Chain set if you look at the hands and the boots. Originally you could only obtain it until Cataclysm, and it became unobtainable afterwards until, back in Legion, they reintroduced these as ensembles that are only available during the monthly Darkmoon Fair event. To get the ensemble, you need to be a Mayo class, or plate if that's what you want it for, and you will need to wear the tabard of the Scarlet Crusade physically. Don't bother transferring it onto yourself. Believe me, I tried and it didn't work. It drops from the normal version of Armsmaster Harlan in Scarlet Halls. Once you have the tabard and the Darkmoon Fair is up, go there and talk to the Scarlet Quartermaster on Darkmoon Island. She will sell you the ensemble for 10,000 gold. She also sells the plate version for another 10,000 and the tabard for 25,000 gold. We have another set for Mayo called Laminated Scale set. The head, chest and feet exist as green items as well. However, if you want to own the whole set, you will have to get the rest of the pieces and they will be grey only. These drop all over in the classic zones of Azeroth with low drop rates, so I'd recommend hitting the auction house for this one, as they are pretty affordable. I will link the set in the description if you want to look up each individual part of this set, where they drop from if you want to farm them. Last Mayo on this list is another crown called Ripped Mayo Circlet. It may not look much, but it's unique as you can get this only as a grey item. There are two more, but they are really low drop rate. It has a 4% drop rate from the Bladespire Brute in Frostspire Ridge. At last, we arrived at plate. The first plate on our list is called Deteriorating Plate Pants. There are other colored versions of these legs, but only this and another grey item has this dark grey colored version, which makes it unique. This has once again a pretty low drop rate across the board. It mainly drops from Burning Crusade zones. I'd say Auction House is once again your best bet. Next up we have Bioscout Pauldrons. These are shoulders that resemble a classic version of Alliance Guard shoulders. This is quite unique as this model is tied to grey items only. There are quite a few out there, but they all have pretty low drop rate. The one I picked, Bioscout Pauldrons, dropped from mobs on Eradath in Argus, and the highest I've seen was 3%. Punctured Plate Helmet. This classic looking helmet drops from various places in Warlords of Draenor, up to 14% drop rate from Blackrock Foundry Raid Trash or other places on Draenor. There is a blue version of this helmet too, but that is exclusive to Horde as it drops from the Three Vikings boss in Classic Odaman, so once again if your faction pride is too strong, then this great item is what you need as an alliance. Next, we have a pretty unique hat for plate. It is the crochet hat, which is actually a cosmetic item, so not only plate, but any armor type can use this. The main reason I put this on the list of plate is because it has a pretty unique look for plate, as there is hardly any other like this. It has a painfully low drop rate, however, at 0.8%. I think potentially your best bet is to farm this in the Stratholme dungeon, since that also drops the Rivendare mount if you don't have it yet, so you hit two birds with one stone. Or the Skullman's dungeon. Last item on this list are a pair of gloves called Light Plate Gloves. It might not look much, but this item is completely unique, at least according to Wowhead. It does not share appearance with any other item, not even other greys. It has a low drop rate of 3%, but for Alliance only. The highest that's available for both factions is from Blackrock Spire Trash. With 1.5% it seems to be mainly dropping from other classic raid trash mobs such as Molten Core, BRD, and low-level Alliance zones such as Westfall, Duskwood, Dunmorrow. Before I show you the honorable mention, I'd like to quickly insert here that some of the items, not all, on this list have a drop rate that shares appearance with other grey items. So before you head out to farm any of these, I'd highly advise you to go to the auction house first, and you will find a link on every single item about here in the video description. So if you go to the items page on Wowhead, make sure to select the same model as option and just start typing in the other names into the search to make sure you checked every possibility before you go out farming, as it can be quite grindy. And now the honorable mention. Ripped Ogre Loincloth. You might be wondering, what is so special about this grey item? Well, this cannot be obtained anymore. This came through a quest called Gorduni Cobalt back in Classic, where you had to dig up ogre dirt mounds, and they had a chance to drop these loincloths. When Cataclysm launched, this quest was removed, so you can't loot these anymore, but if any crazy person kept these grey items for fun, they are worth millions of gold now. On my server there is currently one up for a whopping 1.2 million gold. Insane! And that is it for this list of 5 transmoggable grey items for each armor type. I had a lot of fun researching this one, so I hope you like it too. If you did, please give this video a like and let me know in the comments which grey item did you like the most. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.